Hello everyone, I am Christopher and welcome to Storytime with Christopher, which I tell you a little bit about Jesus. So today we'll be exploring Matthew chapter 2, which covers the arrival of Christ, the birth of Jesus, the prophetic background, and the roles of key figures in the biblical narrative. So although chapter 2 is brief in itself, it reveals much about God's actions and his presence in the world through significant signs. And the significant signs that I will be speaking about is the star in the east being made manifest, which told the wise men that the Christ had arrived. So that's one of the significant signs. Also, divinely guiding Joseph away from danger, revealing him through dreams where to go. So that's God's presence within the world. So the prophet Micah foretold that the Christ would come from Bethlehem, and he would be acting as a spiritual representative for God. The Christ, also known as the Messiah, was someone whom God would send into the world to tell the people of Israel why they were becoming spiritually blind to sin, and why they were losing their spiritual connection to an all-good and all-righteous creator. So the Christ would act as a spiritual representative in the flesh for God. So now we're going to get into the significant signs of God. So a star marked Jesus' birth, attracting wise men from the east who sought the new king of the Jews, which troubled Herod the king. So I can only imagine this hurt Herod's pride. He had a high position, he had influence, he had servants, and he had an abundance of food. In the Gospel of Matthew chapter 2 verse 3, it says, "When Herod the king heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him." You see, those in power fear losing it. And society functions at a higher level if it can be controlled. Their system functions if people below them remain slave to sin, if they continue to seek the glory of man and continue to chase the things of the world. So Herod, threatened by the news, asked the religious leaders to confirm Jesus' birthplace and questioned the wise men about the time of the star's appearance. So the chief priests and scribes informed the king that he was to be born in Bethlehem of Judaea, that the Christ would be born in Bethlehem of Judaea. And it is also important to point out that Herod inquired of the wise men diligently. So he really wanted to know how they knew that the Christ had been born and what time the star appeared. So you see, the glory of God is seen in all creation, and he speaks to the world in natural or supernatural events. Time and the star appearing in the east was God speaking to the world, that a spiritual light had come into the world. That is what that meant. So the physical sign was the star in the east, and the spiritual sign was that light has come into the world. And that light in the heart of a baby named Jesus, that is where that light was found. So God communicated through natural events like the star and divine intervention, guiding the Holy Family and protecting Jesus from Herod's order to kill young children. Jesus and his family fled to Egypt and later settled in Nazareth, which also fulfilled another prophecy, which said that he shall be called a Nazarene, which is what he was called. He was subject to his parents, and he grew up in Nazareth. And this chapter highlights reoccurring divine guidance and revelations given to Joseph to protect Jesus. So yes, this is Storytime with Christopher, and I told you a little bit about the birth of Jesus and how God shows his divine presence through natural and supernatural signs here on earth. So yeah.